Hey Froggy friends, Kirostyle here, welcome back to BlazBlue Calamity Trigger! Thank you so much for coming again to the video. Now, we're gonna go through the true ending of this game, finally. We went through this game pretty quickly. I mean, there's only 12 characters, unlike Continuum Shift where there's more characters, but we're ready to do the true ending. We've seen everyone else's true endings, as well as all their normal endings. I think you only need their true endings of certain characters to get the overall true ending to unlock. So, let's get into this. It's going to answer a lot of our questions so far about what's going on with the world, the identity of characters like Hakumen and New 13, what's happening between this looping world, what's Rachel up to, what's Kokonoe up to, what's the deal between Ragna and Jin, all that kind of stuff is going to start to come together here. Now, this is the first game in the series, so even though this is going to answer a lot of our questions, there's still going to be things that we don't know because the Continuum Shift, which is the second game, is going to have more of that stuff in store for us. So, let's get going with this true ending. I think it's going to take about an hour, but I'm not so sure. True End Stories, Ragna the Blood Edge. Also, for the true ending, once you go through it, you get 100% completion on it. Unlike everyone's individual endings, you don't need to lose every single fight to see those cutscenes in the true ending to get 100% completion for it. A gentle breeze blows through Ragna's hair. It's the end of December, but the breeze feels warm, probably because it's coming from the hierarchical city. The city's climate is regulated by Ars Magus to make it more hospitable. A light glimmers through the haze. It's the Kagutsuchi Tower.
Anyway, the ether is pretty thin around here.
Ragna takes a deep breath and lifts up his right hand. The plate on it begins to glow. A ring starts to take shape in the air, about as high as Ragna is tall. He steps through the ring, and it glows. A seal appears in the air behind him, an Ars. He doesn't look any different, but the Ars has erased his presence. Ordinary people wouldn't notice him even now.
Well, I guess it's about the right amount.
Walking down a path as choked with ether as this one is suicide for most people. Ragna doesn't think he's likely to meet anyone. But there are few people who, like Ragna, prefer to travel on foot. The concealment Ars is for them. Again, it's so weird they call like magical arts Ars Magus and they shorten it to Ars and it sounds like Ars as in butt. But whatever. Ragna senses someone behind him. He knows letting an enemy get the jump on him would be a pretty bad idea, which is why he chooses to travel undetected.
Let's see. I guess I can get there by dawn.
He sighs, then picks up the pace.
What a pain in the ass.
Suddenly, he feels a powerful presence at his back. He spins around to confront it, and sees a small shadow moving through the thick blue clouds. The shadow isn't human. It's a cat. But not just any cat. Ragna knows him. He's arguably the strongest creature on the planet.
Watch yourself, kid. Out this late, you might run into a ghost.
Oh, it's just you. You know, ghosts never show up in a place like this. They normally appear in wells, attics, places like that.
What the hell did you hear that?
I never was one for idle chit-chat. So what do you need from me? Don't tell me you're here to pick me up. Are you trying to tell me you took care of it, so I should just go home?
Oh, nothing like that. Just thought I'd say howdy. Been following you for a spell.
So that strange presence was you.
Knew I was there, did you?
Yeah, for a while. You have been gradually shortening the distance between us, so I set up a camouflage just in case. I wanted to avoid battles if I could. Since it turned out to be just you, I guess I overreacted.
Ha! I must be getting old if even a greenhorn like you can spot me.
What's so funny? You should be happy as a master that your apprentice has grown.
Hell, you gotten that good you ain't gonna have no trouble at all.
Huh? With what?
Gonna be a mite different this time, kid. Things ain't gonna go the way you think. I'm just making sure you got fair warning.
About what? Without that information, it's not a very good warning, you know?
I saw him. He's here.
Him?
He's looking for you. You'll run into him sooner or later.
What the hell are you talking about? Can you explain it to me in a way that I can understand?
Don't need to. You'll understand when you meet him.
Will you please speak in a human language? You're not making sense at all.
Sorry, but I ain't human. You know that.
Yeah, whatever. You're not gonna tell me after all, are you? You've never answered my questions on matters like this.
Jubei starts breaking out into cat speak and just starts meowing at him.
All right, I gotta get going.
Unlike you, I only have human legs. I want to get there by dawn.
That's so. Well then, Ragnar. Guess I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, good luck to you too.
Jubei watches Ragnar's back as he stomps off into the clouds. With a final farewell to his former student, the cat fades back into the ether.
What was that about anyway?
Ragnar already knew what Jubei had come to tell him. That didn't make him feel any better about it. He had a bad feeling about the whole thing, and the closer he got to Kakutsuchi, the worse that feeling got. Jubei's warning hadn't helped. He'd been to plenty of hierarchical cities and destroyed plenty of library branches and their cauldrons. But none of them had ever made him feel this uneasy.
What the hell is this sensation? Am I scared? No way.
I see. Then you're saying you don't remember anything peculiar about Major Kisaragi's recent actions. Is that right?
Yes. My apologies. I just remembered one thing.
What is it?
I suddenly felt dizzy, so I don't remember clearly, but...
Dizzy?
Yes. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt awfully dizzy, so I'm not sure if what I'm about to tell you is credible at all.
No, anything will be helpful. It might lead us to some crucial clues.
Okay. At that time, the Major was laughing. I'd never seen him laugh like that.
Jin never laughs.
Laughing? Major Kisaragi was laughing? Excuse me, please, continue.
Yes, sir. And he was laughing hard. I don't know why the Major suddenly started laughing like that. I was really surprised by it.
Well, I have to say, anybody would be surprised to see Major Kisaragi laugh hard.
There's something overwhelming about that laughter. As if he was haunted. I was horrified.
I like how they're having this 10-minute conversation just about his laugh.
And as he laughed, the Major repeated the name of the Grim Reaper like a mantra. Ragnar. Ragnar.
He's referring to Ragnar the Blood Edge. This is important information, Lieutenant. As we expected, Ragnar the Blood Edge is likely to be the reason for Major Kisaragi's solo behavior. But why? It all boils down to that question, after all. We thought it had something to do with Sector 7. Is something the matter?
No, it's nothing.
Anyways, Ragnar the Blood Edge might lead us to Major Kisaragi. We should probably head to headquarters now.
Huh? Why?
Why? Lieutenant, Ragnar's targets have always been the NOL, haven't they? It's only natural to think Ragnar is headed for the NOL branch in Kagutsuchi. I'm sure that Major Kisaragi will figure out that's where Ragnar will be. That'll naturally drive Major Kisaragi to the headquarters in Kagutsuchi as well.
I see.
I see. Well, I'll investigate this city as well, just in case. There might be another reason for Major Kisaragi's solo behavior. Seriously, please pull yourself together, Lieutenant. Have you finished reading the reports?
I'm sorry. I haven't gotten around to it.
Well, I compiled all the reports already. But I'd like to avoid failing the mission and being held responsible for that failure, only because you didn't completely grasp the situation.
I know. I apologize.
It's all right, but make sure to go through them later. It's morning already.
Oh yes, it is.
Ragnar usually attacks the NOL at night. His actions during the day have never been confirmed.
He's probably just eating in Chinese restaurants and getting chased out for not paying the bill, right?
So I think it should be more effective to collect information in Kagutsuchi first, than staking out headquarters at this hour. Can you take care of it, Lieutenant?
I will.
What is this? Why is there no one around? There's no sign of any battles, either. You're not? My brother? No, that can't be! What the hell's going on here?
I guess I'll just head straight over to the branch. What's up with every single library being hidden at the top of mountains? It's such a pain in the ass.
Suddenly, something blocks Ragnar's view. A sickeningly sweet smell fills the air around him, and he feels dizzy.
I didn't want to run into her. Hey, Rabbit. What the hell are you trying to pull?
You would do well to watch your mouth, peasant. Must I educate you in proper conduct toward a lady?
Are you stupid? Do you even know what you're saying? If you do understand the meaning of it, that's the last sentence I want to hear from you.
Oh, is it?
Whoa! What the hell? Watch out, you idiot!
Rebellious servants must be punished.
Hey, since when am I your servant? You idiot! Wait, you're not serious, are you?
I guess she is serious.
The wheel of fate is
Oh, this is unlimited Rachel too.
Rebel 1. Action!
She's only at half health.
Now you're dead. What?
Hey, what are you up to, stupid Rachel? Wasn't exactly playful.
I was only having a little fun. Oh my. Don't tell me. Is that all? No, that's not possible. You wouldn't wish to disappoint me, would you? This is dull. Why don't you die again? That should be interesting.
Hey!
What? Oh, very well. I feel merciful today, so you may speak a few last words. My gift to you. But no more idiot, or that's enough. Those are quite played out. I require something better. How long do you intend to stand there? It is time for my tea, and I do not wish to look at you. Or perhaps you could care to share some tea with me? No, perhaps not. I doubt a person such as you could appreciate the beauty and nuance of tea.
Right? It's always nice to hear Rachel talk. I love her English voice. Her Japanese one is just as elegant too, but her English one is phenomenal. Again, like, instantly fell in love with her character despite her not following any of the aesthetics I usually like, just based on her personality and voice alone.
No thanks, I'm taking off. That is, if you let me out of here, you idiot.
You do enjoy calling me an idiot, don't you? I've kept track. It amused me. Guy?
Yup, he said it 5 times.
Oh my. Somewhat less than I thought.
Hey, that's enough. Stop treating me like I'm a moron.
Oh, but you are.
Damn it. I can't believe that stupid rabbit threw me out like this. Wait, isn't this the enemy base? Huh? There's no one around. Whew. What the hell's going on here? I've got absolutely no clue.
Rauda swears to himself, something about the place doesn't feel right. But he really doesn't care if there's anyone there or not. He's not visiting the library for its people. The Grim Reaper has something else in mind. All he cares about is accomplishing what he came to do, as soon as possible. He stands before a huge set of doors. He tries the handle. They don't seem to be locked. He grits his teeth and grabs the handle, and throws open the massive doors. Bright light streams out from the room behind the doors. Ragnar throws up his arms to shield his eyes and squints into the room. The room is huge and empty. The silence is deafening.
Someone's there. Who's that?
The light is too bright. He can't see their face. Yeah, I usually like the gothic Lolita look on characters, but for some reason Rachel's particular brand of it just didn't jive with me the first time I saw her. I think it's because of the art style too. Like her character select screen picture kind of gives her a big forehead as well, and she seems a little bit too poofy. And then plus she has like a gigantic gi. The gi in her character select portrait is so big, and then she also has Nago too. And I'm like, why does she need two familiars? So my initial impression was like, okay. Also the fact that she's like a vampire, and I'm not usually like into the vampire archetype. But again, I really like how she subverted everything. You can't even tell if the person is male or female.
An officer from the library.
Ragna's eyes adjust to the light, and then the mysterious figure's face comes into focus. He recognizes it immediately. He snarls and lunges at the figure. Memories come flooding back.
Jin!
Their swords locked, a true stalemate. From in between the gap, they catch a glimpse of each other's faces. Ragna's face distorted with rage. Jin's face as cold as steel. Red versus blue.
I was getting very tired of waiting. Long time no see, Ragna.
Ragna's mind is filled with flames. He sees the past. Memories of the past. A room filled with fire.
Jin, you bastard.
Why so angry? We're finally able to meet again.
Cut the crap, bastard.
Who would have thought that you were Ragna the Blood Edge? I'm impressed. You have the highest bounty known to man. Everyone's after this Ragna the Blood Edge.
Mind your own business. What is this strange sensation?
But you see, it is my business. You know I'm with the NOL. An enemy of the NOL is an enemy of my own. Just kidding. I've never thought like that.
He's laughing. Major Kisaragi is laughing.
Yeah? You sound like you're having too much fun.
Oh, and you're not, brother?
Oh yeah, I am. Thanks to you, idiot.
Why do you have to be so cold to me, brother? Let's have fun like we used to. What's the matter, brother?
You're in my way. Get out of my sight.
That hurts, brother. Am I really getting in your way?
Don't make me say it again, Jin.
So it's true. I'm a nuisance to you. Then, I guess we are, after all. I see. I guess I'll have to kill you.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1, action!
Inferno! Shut up! Jin! Die already! Move it! Move it!
I wonder if I can get a perfect on him.
No.
Ah, no, never mind.
Sting!
Finish!
I have tons of questions that I need to ask you, so I won't finish you off. Just lie right there.
Yeah, I just had to finish him with a throw. I just thought it looked cool.
Brother! Brother! I'm the one!
Yeah, I won't finish you off. I'll just stab you in the brain.
What the hell is happening to me? What's this crazy vertigo?
Major Kisaragi! Are you all right? Major! Major! He's unconscious. He seems to be injured, too. Could this have been done by Ragna the Blood Edge?
Oh, good, the timing couldn't be more perfect. It's safe to say that the mission is complete.
The timing couldn't be more perfect? If we were a little late, Hazama, Major Kisaragi would have been...
You seriously think so, Lieutenant? Do you think you can stop Major Kisaragi after he goes out of control? I don't think it's possible for even two people. Even more so if it's something that even the Major couldn't defeat. Ragnar the Blood Edge was probably here.
But...
My duty is to restrain Major Kisaragi, and not Ragnar the Blood Edge. I have to say, this situation is quite convenient. What's the matter, Lieutenant Vermilion?
Hazama, please continue attending the Major. I'll go after Ragnar, whom I believe went inside. Another duty of mine is to restrain Ragnar.
Oh, really? I guess you have no other choice then.
All right. I'll see you later. I didn't realize this before since I was panicking, but I haven't seen anybody since I got here. I've never seen a deserted department in the NOL before. There's no way someone of Hazama's caliber would have missed that. But why? If we leave Ragnar roaming around like this, the situation will become worse. Why? Why did he say such a thing? That man.
Noelle follows Ragnar's tracks. Eventually, she finds herself in the giant chasm that leads to the basement. The elevator control panel nearby indicates someone has already used the elevator to descend.
An elevator? Why is something like this here? It seems to be going down. Ragnar?
You seem to be working hard, Miss Noelle. Well, I'll be in trouble if you don't try harder.
He climbs into the elevator. With a roar, it begins to move down. Yeah, you love elevators, Lord Temper. You love your elevator boss fights. After what seems like an eternity, it finally grinds to a halt. This must be as far as it goes. Other branches have had elevators like this one, but none of them have had anything that took so long to reach the bottom. Ragnar can't help wondering just how deep underground he actually is.
Just when I thought it was taking too long, it finally stopped.
The elevator doors open. Laid out before him is a tableau he's seen many times before.
So I guess this place does kind of look like that. Now then.
So you have arrived, Dark One.
What?
The moment Ragnar sees him, he freezes. Not out of fear, but almost as if he's been hypnotized. No matter how hard he tries to move, Ragnar can't lift so much as a finger. Ragnar grunts in pain. Every fiber of his body wants to get out of that room as fast as possible, but no matter how much he struggles, his body refuses to respond. All he could do is stand there and stare at the man before him. His face is a mask, and Ragnar can't see any eyes to speak of, but he can't shake the feeling that the creature is staring straight at him, as if it can see straight through him. Ragnar can't blink. The mask. Fear rolls over him in waves. The thing standing before him is dangerous, far more dangerous than any other foe Ragnar has faced. Finally, he manages to force words from his dry throat.
Bastard. Who are you?
I am the end of you.
Jubei's words echo through Ragnar's head.
Don't need to. You'll understand when you meet him.
This can't get any worse.
Is something the matter? You seem to be shaking, Ragnar the Blood Edge. Is this pitiful child truly the most powerful this world has to offer?
His voice echoes across the room as he unsheathes a sword as tall as he is. The sword is a brilliant silver, and it shines with a cool, hard light. Ragnar feels a drop of cold sweat trickle down his spine. He understands what's about to happen all too well. It terrifies him.
The darkness that infects our world springs from you, a font of evil. I shall staunch that flow, and put an end to you.
Ragna strains to move his body, drawing out all the energy he has left. It isn't enough. He remains trapped, paralyzed. All he can do is stand and watch. But he doesn't give up. He can't give up. One thought echoes through his mind. I can't let it end here.
Why don't you put an end to your life instead, you son of a bitch? Cut the crap and just bring it on!
I am the White Void. I wipe the slate of the world clean, that it may begin anew. I am Hakumen!
That was a shorter version of your usual spiel, Hakumen.
The end has come!
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action!
Inferno Devour! Make me sick that mask of yours! Inferno Devour!
That's all you
Make me sick that mask of yours!
What was that?
Sting!
Not that. What was that?
Dead spike! Move it!
Finish!
You are finished, Dark One. Return now to the maelstrom of chaos from whence you were born.
Oh, crap!
The end has come for you, Dark One. The sword descends! What? How dare you interrupt me? Get out of my way, Grimalkin!
Hey! What the hell's going on?
Impossible! The causal interruption has been dispelled? Hey, get the hell out of there, now! You aren't strong enough to beat him!
Who the hell are you? Stop talking inside my head!
That doesn't matter! Just get the hell out of there! Tager, can you move at all?
Sorry, Kokonoi, I'm tied up.
Tager! Hey, Tager!
Who the hell are you? Damn it! Somebody tell me what the hell's going on here!
Your time is done, Ragna the Blood Edge. The ruler of the Netherworld calls your name.
As much as I want to get the hell out of here, I don't think I can. I didn't want to use this, but... Restriction 666 released. Dimensional interruption imaginary number formed. Azure Grimoire? Activated! Take this, you son of a bitch!
Oh, we get to fight again. Am I superpowered? Am I unlimited, Ragna?
The
Oh,
wheel
I
of
am.
fate is turning. Rebel 1.
I have, like, no HP. I guess I'll just steal it from you. Well, he's also at max. He's also at max heat too. Am I fighting unlimited Hakumen as unlimited Ragna? Oh, come on. Oh, you dodged it. I can't believe this. You dodged it twice? Seriously? I want to finish him off with a cool attack.
What is this?
Yeah, you got some nice blood there. It would be a shame if someone took it. The scene before her eyes is that of utter destruction. Dust hangs in the air, a remnant of the epic battle that took place here. On guard, she slowly moves deeper in, but before her is a massive hole, and what looks like a pot. For a moment, she's struck speechless by the spectacle.
I've seen this before. Target confirmation. Target confirmation. Target confirmation. Target confirmation.
These cutscenes are so loud compared to everything else.
Murakumo unit activate. Identifying target. The target match has been confirmed. Who are you?
Armand, thank you so much for the stretch. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to stretch at home too.
I am Dimensional Boundary Contact Medium number 12. Anti-Sankishin Core Unit. Request explanation regarding circumstances and target. What is this? What am I saying?
Noelle is losing control of her body. The words coming out of her mouth are not hers.
Existence description. Dimensional Boundary Contact Prime Field number 13 Anti-Sankishin Core Unit new. The existence of the target is a violation. Immediate self-destruction is advised.
Advice has been declined.
I advise you to self-destruct. I decline your advice.
Existential sustainment is priority.
Searching for secondary protocol. Unexpected contact with the same individual. The activation of the target has been confirmed. Termination is suggested. Thus, begin termination.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action! Counter. Counter.
Not yet.
Advancing.
Counter. Counter.
Nemesis stabilizer!
No problem.
How's that?
Inspector predict advancing.
Well, I'm like at full heat all the time.
Yeah. Can you dodge?
Counter.
Keep going.
Nemesis stabilizer!
Oh, there's vocals now too. What the heck?
Distortion finished.
Why?
No matter how many times Noelle attacks it, the creature won't stay down.
Continue assault upon the target.
I can't move anymore.
Re-establishing connection.
Is it over for me? Am I gonna die? But I'm not scared. Is it because of the Nox Nictoris? I'm hungry. I wonder what Tsubaki and Makoto are doing right now. I want to go out and have a piece of cake with them again. I wonder how my foster parents are doing. I hope my father's not working too hard.
Die.
Don't want to die!
She waits for the final blow, but it never comes. Slowly, she opens her eyes. There's a man standing in front of her. His clothes are torn, and he's covered in blood. His back is to her, so she can't see his face. But something about him is nostalgic. Her tears begin to fall. She doesn't know why, or maybe she doesn't care. He turns around to look at Noelle, and she can see sudden surprise in his face.
It took too long to take care of that bastard. Hey, you! Stay where you are!
The wheel of fate is turning.
Oh great, I'm gonna get copyright claimed, because we're playing the opening theme now.
Inferno Divider!
Oh, there's actually 2 rounds this time. I wasn't ready.
You just don't know when to stop, do you?
Ragna! It's impossible, Ragna! Nothing will change! You can't change anything! Ragna! Wait! You can't go there! Don't go any further!
Lying down underneath a big tree. Someone is watching. A little girl. The light is too bright. You can't make out her face. Something about her puts him at ease. She reaches out slowly and touches his face. A gentle smile crosses her face. Suddenly he realizes who she is.
Oh hey, it's you, Saya. Are you feeling better today? What's wrong? Did Jin pick on you again? I'm exhausted. I can barely keep my eyes open. Say that again? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Don't give up.
Uh-huh?
Give me your hand! Hurry! What do you think you're doing? How can you do such a thing? Please, don't scare me like that. I was really worried about you. Seriously, how can you scare me like that? Jeez. Stupid, 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 stupid.
Hey, what are you doing?
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Aw, will you cut it out?
Stupid?
I mean, I guess I'm sorry. My bad, though I don't quite understand.
Gosh, your crying is so long. That's way longer than the text on the screen.
What the hell is going on here? She cried herself to sleep. What am I supposed to do now?
You are always asleep when we meet. Rather rude, if you ask me.
Hey, Rabbit. Who's this?
The new I.
I? The hell's that? Oh, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Can you explain it to me in a way that I can understand?
The one who inherits the true Azure. Not that foolish imitation you have now.
What?
It won't be long now. The world will change. A great deal will happen that is beyond my understanding. I cannot say I enjoy the prospect, but something about it excites me.
No, there's nothing exciting about it. You're not making any sense.
Oh, but before the world changes, something else will.
You gotta fill me in here. Hey, wait a minute!
Rachel said nope.
What the hell? So this power's just an imitation? What's with her? Why does she look so happy? But more importantly, their resemblance is uncanny.
Princess, what are you trying to do?
The view is nice, though.
Nago, Gi, a moment, please.
Princess?
Quickly.
As you wish.
As you wish.
I did not foresee that he would push me to this extreme. Oh, Ragnar, I do so want to know what happens next. Come to me. You want to play, don't you? Nox Nictoris Gigant, Take Mikazuchi. Nulliplex restriction mechanism released. Dimensional interruption imaginary number developing. Connecting to congenital border. Activating Tsukuyomi unit. It's impossible. Even you cannot defeat Tsukuyomi's absolute defense. It will be 4 years before you can awaken again. Until then, go to sleep, young one.
Whoa! What the hell?
Yeah, you'll notice they use a lot of Japanese gods' names. Like we've heard Takamikazuchi, Susanoo, Tsukuyomi. And if you heard it from Persona 4, it's because all the Persona 4 protagonists have personas named after Japanese gods. Kind of like how in Persona 3, all their personas are named after Greek gods.
Oh, you awake now?
Huh? Where am I? Who are you?
You! You're Ragnar the Bloodedge! What do you think you're doing here? You can't run or hide from me! You're under arrest! You have the right to remain silent!
You're not making any sense. Just calm down for a second.
I've been waiting for this moment. Look at me. Look at me, Noel Vermilion!
Hazama?
Noel! Do not look at that man!
Who are you?
You recognized me, didn't you? Hey, shitty vampire! Who's laughing now?
You bastard!
Hey now, that was close. What the hell? That's not fair, double-teaming me like that. It's not a very grown-up thing to do. No. Well, but if you insist, I might reconsider. You know, I might be able to get a good warm-up out of it.
His mouth movements are so good.
Damn you.
Long time no see, Ragnar the Bloodedge. How's your right arm holding up? Oops, my bad. It was me who chopped that off, wasn't it? So how is it? Doesn't that fake arm come in handy? Do you think it's pretty good for an imitation?
Shut up, you son of a bitch!
Ragnar, stop!
Don't interrupt me, Rabbit!
I am loath to admit it, but the situation has changed. You haven't a chance, Ragnar.
Yeah. What she said. I think that dumb vampire right there is the only one who can keep up with me now. A little bitch like you wouldn't be able to satisfy me. Did I misuse the phrase? Oh well, whatever.
Yes, so this is the shadowy figure that was in Rachel's story, the one that Kokonoe is also after as well.
Bastard! You want to try me? Bring it on, you son of a bitch.
That's a little too cocky for a puppy like you. If you keep yelping at me, I'll have to seriously kill you.
Oh, and just who is being cocksure now? Little boy.
Just kidding. Damn, you're scary, lady. But seriously, you're lucky, Ragna. You have such a sweet guardian with you.
Look at Guy's face. He's ready to rumble.
What did you say, you son of a bitch?
I told you to stop, Ragna.
Well, I'm in a really good mood today, so I'll just let the little puppy go. It'd be tough even for me to handle 3 scary people like you. Oops. It's more like 2 people and a dog, huh? Let's do this again sometime, stupid vampire. Say hello to the old man for me.
Hey, wake the hell up!
What's with him? What's going on? What was that all about?
Damn it! Hey, are you okay? Noelle, was it? Hey, get a grip! Hey, Noelle!
Dark. Susanoo.
Kokonoe, you are watching this, aren't you?
Yeah. I've been waiting for this. I swear I'm gonna take that son of a bitch out myself. No matter what it takes!
I thought I remembered it being longer than this, but I think I'm confusing it with the ending of Continuum Shift. Because the endings of both games have a lot of similar plot points. Look at all those big name voice actors, the Japanese ones. Yeah, what an introduction to Terumi, huh? It's kind of interesting that they made it so one of the big bad guys of the series isn't playable in the first game and gets introduced like this. It's a very interesting thought. In the second game, Hazama is one of the new playable characters as well. There's also a scene that comes after these credits. Yeah, it's a bit of a cliffhanger, right? It's like they were kind of testing the waters and seeing where this game would go, I guess. But again, I find the characters in this game so charming. Like, their personalities, their voices, both English and Japanese. Everyone has likable traits, and they all have such fun designs. I was not expecting to fall in love with this series. So I was very interested in seeing where it goes, and of course, we will be playing the next games in the series. I might wait a little bit before playing Continuum Shift. But for those of you that are not versed in BlazBlue or never heard of it before, I hope this was an interesting introduction to it. It maybe got you a little bit interested in the series and what it has to offer. Especially since Guilty Gear is so big now, it's kind of overshadowed BlazBlue, which is such a shame. What I would give to have a 3D BlazBlue game, like the new Guilty Gears, man. Yeah, in the second game, Bang, Taukaka, Lychee, and Carl play a bigger role than in this game. Tell me, Dr. Lychee! lychee can be spelled both ways, with the Y or the I. I know a lot of English people call it lychee, but at least in Chinese, it's lychee. Like the original language where it originates from. Yeah, it's like a Cantonese versus a Mandarin type of thing, too, isn't it? I'm more familiar with Cantonese, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, in Mandarin as well. It's kind of neat, they credited the fighting websites, the fighting game websites there. And again, I love the music in this series. The music is all amazing. I think there's still another scene after the credits here.
Hello. First Lieutenant Tsubaki Yayoi reporting, sir. You wanted to see me?
Oh, hello. I'm Hazuma from the Intelligence Department. It's nice to meet you. You're that Yayoi family that I keep hearing about. Thanks for coming all the way from there. Oh, by the way, hierarchically speaking, I'm technically a captain. But the Intelligence Department isn't bound by hierarchy, so please, relax.
Yes, this is the girl from Noelle and Jin's stories.
Oh, my apologies, Captain.
She was friends with them back at the academy.
I just asked you to relax. Oh well. The reason that I called upon you, First Lieutenant, is because I'd like to put you in charge of a classified mission.
What sort of a mission would require the Intelligence Department to get involved, sir?
Oh, I know what you're trying to get at. But don't worry. I have a full grasp of the character of your squad, First Lieutenant. Besides, this is a direct order from the main headquarters. Oh, would you like some proof of that? Here is a signature from the Imperator.
Ah! My apologies. I didn't mean to pry.
Oh no, please don't worry about it. Now, let me continue. The details of the mission will be given verbally. Since it's a classified mission, it'd be inconvenient to leave any record of it. Besides, the mission description is simple enough for you to memorize it on the spot.
Yes, sir!
All right. Here it comes. First Lieutenant Yayoi Tsubaki, I'd like to assign you to assassinate Major Jin Kisaragi and Lieutenant Noel Vermillion.
The seal of fate is now broken. Now it's up to you. And there we have it. There's the true ending of this game. It was a lot shorter than I remembered, but again, I think I'm confusing it with the ending of Continuum Shift, which is longer and also has similar story beats to it. Now, with the next game in the series, Continuum Shift, that game actually got a few different iterations of it, along with some DLC. So the base game of Continuum Shift only adds a couple new characters. It adds Hazuma and Tsubaki, who we just saw, as well as 2 new characters. Later on, in the DLC, they add Valkenhayn and Makoto, as well as 1 other new character. And then there's an additional release of the game with 1 extra character who is, as of right now, not introduced to you guys just yet. So one thing I really like about BlazBlue is a lot of characters get introduced in the story as NPCs, and then they become playable later, so it's not like they're completely new characters. It's almost like you get excited for them as NPCs, and then you realize that they get playable later, which is kind of neat. So there we have it. There's the ending of BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. Now before we leave off, I want to have a look at the gallery mode of the game, because the art is really nice. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, you haven't seen my arcade playthroughs, but every character has a couple artworks that they get when you clear their arcade mode, and then there's also illustrations you get from doing their story mode. And then at the end here, these are special illustrations. These special illustrations get unlocked for doing achievements in the game. So with the original run of the game in PlayStation 3 and Xbox, these were linked to the achievements in the game. In the Steam version, you can still get these by doing the achievements, but there's no achievements per se, so it doesn't really keep track of them for you, and not all achievements give you special artwork. I actually don't like this, because a lot of the special artwork is really nice, so it's a bit of a shame to not get it. In later games, what they do is instead they actually have the artwork buyable, and then you get in-game currency for clearing story mode and arcade mode that you can use to buy the art instead, which I vastly prefer, because some of the achievements in this game are really hard or really grindy. Like use a certain move 100 times, or like get a perfect win against this type of character, or on this run of score attack mode on hell difficulty or something like that. Or like really niche things like keep Rachel aloft for 25 seconds, which is only possible if you have a second controller and two people playing as Rachel, and then the second person uses their Sylphied to keep Rachel in the air for longer than her own Sylphieds. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. But it's kind of interesting. This game is kind of hard to 100%. It is a pain. So that's why it's a shame that these illustrations are all locked off. Because they're like fun illustrations by different illustrators that worked on the game. And some of them are like happy birthday art for different characters, because every character has a birthday. You'll see them in the later games, though. It's just a shame we don't get to see them here. And then we have the movies, the opening theme, the arcade opening theme, the story movies, the arcade credits, and the console credits. Let's have a look at the illustrations as we go. Can I hide this menu? How do I do this on controller? Nope. Nope. How do I hide? Can I hide this on controller? It says hide menus. Backspace. How do I hide the menu? Nope, nope. Nope, nope. I don't know how to hide this. Well, I guess I do have my keyboard. I might as well just do it on the keyboard, right? Okay, there we go. Let's have a look at the illustrations. So this is starting from Ragnar's arcade mode. I guess I should hide my VTuber so you can fully appreciate them. The art's really nice. And there's a lot of it, too. I think some of them have variations as well. Right, I love Rachel. And look at that beautiful scenery. This is from Arakune's, or Arachne's. Like, look at those backgrounds. I love the wanted poster. These were the pictures from the very beginning of story mode. I love this one. This one's really nice. Especially now that we've seen all the characters and the roles in the story. Like, a lot of these make a lot more sense now. I guess I'll briefly summarize the finer bits of the story mode after this as well. There's a few things that's kind of easy to miss. So this is at the end of Jin's story mode when he's about to become Hakumen. See, there was like that part where he's walking away and they briefly see an image of someone else superimposed upon him. There's the Noelle dressing up part. Guilty Gear references. Poor little Laoju. Here's the scene when Terumi confronts Rachel. I love this one too. Like, look at how gentle her face is. And this one as well. Right, Tager's joke ending. This will become a running joke in all the games. I love this one too. It's set up just like it's framed exactly like Slayer's finishing move in Guilty Gear too, when he like punches you into the sky. Laoju's mouth. Right, all the funny art is really good too. And all like the really intense art, like look at this. Hakumen pulling Ragna out of Arachne. And this one too. Again, like, for such a simplistic character design, Arachne is really good art because of all the animations and stuff. But this is the bad ending when Hakumen kills Arachne. Again, like, look at this art. Like, phenomenal background work. There's Bang using his running away jutsu. Here's art from Carl. Here's the 6 heroes. You can see Hakumin and Jubei. The other ones are a little bit harder to see because we haven't formally met them yet. There's Hakumin unmasking himself in front of the Ragna from his memories. And these are from New, her story mode. And here's from the Chu ending. And here's some of the special art. I only have like 3 of the special illustrations just because I haven't been doing the achievements, but they look pretty cool. This one looks so much like Fate Stay Night, doesn't it? And then, oh, a raunchy picture of Tao. There's so much raunchy fan art and official artwork of Tao, and the way that her like shirt billows up and you see like her lady parts. People really do be thirsting. And unfortunately, that's all I have for the special art. You can see there's so much more of it. Oh yeah, there's also a sound tester in this game. You can listen to the different background musics, you can listen to character voices by English and Japanese. You can change the system voice as well, so you can have the announcer be other characters in the game. So you have the announcer be... Oh no, maybe not... Oh no, this one. Oh wait. Or maybe that's in Continuum Shift, I can't remember. Where you can change the announcer, so the announcer can be Ragna, or the announcer can be Rachel, or the announcer can be Tao. In the original game, I think you only had I think there's only Continuum Shift. You had to like buy them as DLC, but there were a couple that were included with the game. I'm sure the Steam version, you probably just have to unlock it by beating arcade mode with them or something like that. So, like, basically, if you kind of missed out what the story was trying to say, because there's a lot of finer bits that don't get... Oh yeah, they do have announcer voices for some of the NPCs too. I'm not sure if they have Gi, but they do have, like, some of the other characters that aren't playable in each game be announcers as well, like Hazama, Valkenhayn, Linhua, a lot of those other, or like even, I think the Kaka Elder as well, Kokanoe, some of the major NPC characters do get announcer voices throughout the games, even though they're not playable at the time. Yeah, the finer bits of the story is basically, like, Ragna is this, or okay, let's start from the beginning. Ragna, as a kid, he lived with Jin and their sister Saya at an orphanage. Hazama, or Terumi, came by and, like, coerced Jin into cutting off Ragna's arm and then burning down their orphanage, and then Saya went missing. Ragna swore revenge against the NOL. He became possessed of the Azure Grimoire at some point in time, although we learned it's a fake imitation grimoire, and he starts like destroying all the city's NOL branches. He gets to Kagutsuchi, and then all this stuff starts happening. Basically what usually happens is he and Nu get into a fight, and then Nu stabs him, and they both fall into the cauldron. And then Takamikazuchi destroys Kagutsuchi as a result. And in the true ending, Noelle saves Ragna from falling into the cauldron, and then Rachel decides to protect Kagutsuchi from Taka Mikahara, which prevents the timeline from looping because he's no longer wiping out Kagutsuchi. Continuum Shift explains it a lot more, and there's a lot more details I'm leaving out because they are going to explain them in the later games, but that's kind of the gist of what's happening here. And of course the thing with Hakumen, Jin tries to save Ragna in another timeline, he falls into the cauldron, Rachel rescues him, sends him back in time to become Hakumen with the Susanoo unit, and then after the war something happens to him, he gets locked in the boundary, and then Kokonoe has to pluck him back out into this timeline or something like that. And then Noelle and New 13 all seem to share Saya's voice and face as well. But there's a lot of unanswered questions here. That's just kind of the main meat of it. Of course, if you play through the other games, they'll explain more of these things. Or if you just scrounge around on the BlazBlue wiki, honestly. But even though BlazBlue's made of 4 main games, there's a lot of side stories that don't really have to do with these main characters, but they explain more about the universe as well. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me here for BlazBlue. Oh gosh, I was gonna say continuation. Thank you so much for joining me for BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, the first game in the BlazBlue series. I really love this series. I love the characters. I love the art. I'm not so great at fighting games, but I can still admire the way that they've set up all the mechanics and stuff like that too. So we will be playing Continuum Shift in the future, but I probably will wait until the new year to do that because there's other games I want to do. I'll spread out these BlazBlue games out because I don't want to do them all in a row. I kind of learned from doing Xenoblade and Star Ocean that doing too many games of the same series in a row is very tiring, and I like mixing things up from now and then. Yeah, it's a pretty hefty story for a fighting game. Like, most fighting games don't have in-depth story modes, or they're very surface level. But BlazBlue is like, I would argue that BlazBlue is almost more about the story than it is about the fighting. Although the fighting is very fine-tuned and finessed as well, but the story is honestly really, really interesting. And I think the strongest point is just how good the characters are written. They have such distinct personalities, and the voices are really good. So, and I see, you know, a lot more Rachel fans now in the chat. Rachel's amazing. I love her. She's definitely one of my favorites throughout the whole series. Although I really like Ragna as well, and there's characters in the later games that show up that win over my heart as well too. Yeah, it's like a melee visual novel. You want to talk about it that way? That's kind of very accurate, right? The visual novel with some fights and stuff like that too, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me here on stream. Let's have a look at Twitch and see if anyone is streaming at this hour that we can raid. And so, well, it looks like the only person that's streaming right now is Kyle, so let's raid him again, even though we've raided him a few times after. But, oh, Melly, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Again, you should also check out Melly, or Mlemly, when you get a chance. She's also a very cool streamer, and a cool artist, and a cool singer, and her 6-month anniversary is coming up, so you should go give her some love. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. We're going to be doing Star Ocean 6, but this time Leticia's route instead later this week. So check it out, and I'll see you next time. Stick around for a raid, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.